Hello to a happy place. Another Saturday summer session. Like I said before, I'll be trying to have projects which can involve children or other members of family and are quite easy to do. This time I have a project for you which is something I learned from my art friend called Anne-Marie. She's Dutch, and I sometimes went to her art studio in Holland and spent lovely time with her. And one evening we did together this collaborative project, so that's why I'm thinking that could be good for you to do with family. It's painted collage in black and white. And the interesting part is that you create your own material for the collage. So it's not like with more magazine-based collage, you go for images that are there. Here, actually, you create from scratch. It's a beautiful and creative project. Get other people involved. Also, from one piece of paper, you can create many different collage pieces. So it's quite resource-wise, saving you the use of paint and paper. Have fun, and I'm looking forward to see what you create. Bye-bye. Okay, let's get started. First of all, paper. I don't want you to use more expensive painting paper or watercolor paper. Just use the typical sketchbook or photocopy paper, something that is soft, because painting we're going to create here is going to be cut into pieces to build your new piece of collage, and it's got to be quite thin so you can glue it to another page. And watercolor paper would be, first of all, waste, but secondly, it will be too thick to glue to your page. It will be quite difficult, and you won't have as many possibilities of overlapping shapes when you cut them out with paper that's too thick. So just normal paper. Don't worry that it buckles and it looks like it's not good for painting, because we're not using it purely for painting. I'm working with just black and white simple acrylic paints. I have some brushes, bigger and smaller, pot of water, and that's how I'm starting. For later, you need another piece of paper like that, white, and if you want and have a piece of black paper, if you don't have black paper, you can paint normal paper with black acrylic paint, and that's how you get black paper. It's good to have two colors because they give you completely different experiences of working on contrasting backgrounds, and you will see how different work looks on different background. So the purpose of this painting is just to apply black and white paint in abstract shapes, lines, with a variety of mix between black and white, so grey, without worrying what it looks like, because that's going to be your collage material. So you're working with two mediums, you're working with painting and collage in this project. So I'm just going to have some black and some white. There is no right or wrong way of painting this collage material. You can start with black and then start adding white, or if you want, you can create some grays here before you apply them to the page. So let me just have some medium gray and very light gray here, and then I have very dark gray. I'm gonna start just applying random shapes. I picked up two sizes of brushes, so it gives me a variety of mark making possibilities. It's a very hot day today, so this is going to dry so quickly, which is good, so I don't have to speed up my drying with a heat gun. I'm gonna clean my brush and just get some very light gray or almost white. Sometimes you may want to wait for the first layer to dry if you want to overlap the colors without mixing. If you go wet into wet, then they will mix. So I would say have variety on your painting. Use both approaches. You can move your paper around so you change direction of your painting. So trying to add, like I said, contrast, a bit of black, bit of grey and white into different areas, but you don't have to worry what goes where, because that is just your initial source material for collage. And use, if you have at least 2 different sizes of brushes. I have 2 here, that's more than enough. Okay, so at some point you need to decide when you finished. I quite enjoyed that, to be honest with you, so I could probably be painting that a bit longer, but that's not the point of it. So I'm just finishing off with some white, and now just using the paint leftovers. I don't like to waste anything. Also play with the brush, you know, treat that as your tool. What else you can do with it? Or can you turn it? Can you use the different angles? See what it does. Okay, gonna leave that. So that needs to dry fully, and I come back and show you what I'm doing with it. Okay, I'm back with my painting. This is dry. So what I'm doing now, turning that over so I can't see the painting. And this is important because I'm going to ask you to cut your artwork into pieces. If you do it the way when you can see, you will start, and it's quite likely that you will start following the shapes that are painted here, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to be surprise and get shapes that are not restricted by the painted shapes. So I'm cutting that into different shapes without looking. One cutting through. Yep. Now you need variety of shapes. If you've done any classes with me on different, maybe in different places, you know when I talk about organic and no organic shapes. So organic shapes are the ones that are more likely to be found in nature, and non-organics are more like human-made. So the ones like rectangles, squares, and triangles with sharp edges. Okay, so it's good to have variety of them, so you can combine. So here I have some narrow ones as well, and some bigger and smaller. I'm still not looking what I'm cutting through. Now you won't be probably using everything for your material, because this is going, one painted page is going to create quite a lot of material. You can always go back and cut more, or cut a specific shape from what you already cut out when you look, but initially do not worry about that. I know this one is probably doesn't have much, so let's get rid of that. Now for each of your compositions, collage compositions, you really need just few. So that one painted page, if you have someone in the house, like now over summer holidays, we're trying to encourage you to create with children or family. That one painted page will give you at least 4 or even 5 compositions. Okay, now you can have a look. So this is your collage material. And ideally, having, like I said, 2 pieces in white and black, your backgrounds, is the best way to work. So this is your collage material. I'm going to put that on the side. And I have black and white backgrounds. Again, this is just, again, normal paper, not the painting or watercolor paper. You can use whatever you want, but I wouldn't waste watercolor paper. Those are my backgrounds. And with my collage material, I am going to arrange some compositions from those pieces. And this is why I ask you to have black and white, because you have this massive variety. Now, I need you to enjoy the process and spend some time arranging and rearranging those pieces. As you can see, it looks different on black, different on white, and it's about fitting them together, seeing what goes together, what doesn't. In terms of composition, my suggestion is start from the middle, and remember that the shapes can overlap. You can also alter them again now and just cut some bits if you feel this is needed. I really like how those two go. They are abstractish bits, and it's about selection, deciding what goes with what. think some members of our group who are very much into abstract work will enjoy this process. But I think it's really good for children as well. So, you know, play around. I keep looking what I've got in my material. So even if I went with those compositions, I still have so much left, and I can cut that into smaller. You can work half size of A4. That gives you more pieces to build. I like this one as well. I want to include this one, but I don't know where, so now I'll start playing. So do that. That's your final stage. I'm going to play around with it because probably I'm gonna spend some time, so the video will be far too long, and I'll show you my final pieces. So here are my pieces. I still need to glue them properly, but just wanted to show you how diverse compositions you can create, how beautifully the paint can fit into the whole picture that you are forming. And because I didn't know where I was cutting, you know, that gives me those diverse shapes and mark making. So, you know, here I was probably be tempted to cut out the circle if I was looking. That's why I turned my paper around, and I couldn't see where I was cutting through. Here we go. Have fun. I'm looking forward to see what you create.